All right, welcome to Strategic Career Building with Dr. Pat. Looks like this is episode number 6. If you get an opportunity, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and like the video. Today's topic is how to dress like an exec. This should be a really good one. I got actually a pretty funny story for you guys at the end of this one. As you guys know, I am a 20-year industry exec. I work as a vice president of program management. I'm also a college professor and a knowledge commerce entrepreneur. Just like always, we got another little article that I published with the University of Phoenix. We'll kind of, get into the article, watch a couple of videos, and this should be a good one. This is definitely one you guys can watch a couple of times and have some good takeaways. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Go ahead and share my screen here. Right. All right. And here's the article, How to Dress Like an Exec. All right, by yours truly. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right. One unspoken truth about being an executive is that your dress code matters. Once you reach the executive level, your presentation is paramount to your image in the organization. Having said that, I want to make it clear that this is my opinion based on 7 years of experience as working as an executive, probably 8 by now. My industry blends both technical and business, so I very much work within corporate America itself. But as most people know, corporate America is a global experience these days. So my perception is influenced by not just by American standards, but also international as well. I'm talking about the Middle East, Europe, Latin America. I've done a little bit of business in all those places, been to media ports in Rome, Italy, and Frankfurt, Germany, and Singapore, a lot of countries around the world. I also recognize that standards are impacted by remote work and vary by industry. An art director at a magazine won't necessarily dress the same way as a CFO of a business. A work from home day can be more relaxed than an in-person meeting. So feel free to take the following advice and tailor it to your particular situation. And I think this is really important too, because, let's just say whether you're into your career or you're getting ready to start your career, how you walk in day one and set the tone based on your dress is going to affect your image. And that's going to send a subconscious message to your leadership. Hey, this is the kind of person, this person looks like they're going to be management one day. Just kind of keep that in mind. When you reach the executive level in your career, you will have a better sense of your industry and office and can navigate the dress code accordingly. In the meantime, it's important to dress for the job that you want. Now, I want to play a video. I'm going to stop share for a quick sec. I want to play a video just to kind of talk about some of the basics of the reason why it's important to dress like an exec. And then after that, we're going to play another video and really get into some of the specifics that we can do for both men and women. And like I said, this is just my humble opinion, but take my opinion and take it in as your own, and then make your best judgments. All right? So we're going to get into a quick little video that's going to just kind of go into some of the basics of why it's important, to pay close attention to the way you dress and the imagery that you kind of put off. Share. Stop sharing and share the screen. And we're going to go and play this video. This video is from the 6-Figure Career Blueprint. It's called Look Good, Feel Good, Do Good. We've discussed having the right mindset and why globalization affects each and every one of us. Now I want to touch on some practical advice. My Uncle Willie used to tell me as a teenager, if you wash your car, it runs better. Presentation matters. You may have heard this before, but it bears repeating. How you present yourself to the world makes a huge difference in how you're received. I'm not saying you need to be homogeneous and look like everyone else. In fact, individuality is important when it comes to your work and your appearance. My main point is that in a corporate environment, the expectations are different. Whether you're interviewing for your next job or getting some face time with clients, it's important to present yourself as clean and competent. So, while I say individuality is important, there are limits to that. Please chop off the muds and limit the height of your high top fade. Don't limit your career because your appearance doesn't allow you to be in front of important people. There's a reason I named this lesson Look Good, Feel Good, Feel Good, Do Good. It was not only a popular saying in the Army, but something my own mother used to say as well. Not that I'm Notice the calling my pocket mother a square. drill sergeant. I'm just saying that my first sergeant and my mother both knew that self-care and presentation matter. It was just as important to keep my uniform clean and pressed and your boots shine as it was to do the same with my work clothes and civilian life. How you are perceived can affect how far you can go. I'm not saying this isn't problematic. I'm just letting you know that that's how it is. Again, individuality is a valued trait in our society, and you don't need to do away with it. You just need to stick to workplace norms when showing off your personal flair. The key is you don't have to spend a lot of money or change a lot about yourself to be presentable in a business setting. Get yourself some slacks, button-up shirts or blouses, blazers, and a pair of dress shoes. Make sure everything is steamed or pressed and looks clean. Cleanliness is also important when it comes to your body. Practice basic hygiene measures like showering and brushing your teeth. I know that goes without saying for most people, but I feel the need to emphasize how important this is so as not to lose out on this key opportunity. Treat and dress yourself like you already have the job that you want. If you present yourself as confident and successful, that will eventually come to fruition. All right, go ahead and stop share for a minute. And yeah, I mean, just, it's funny that I use that particular example of the Mohawk, and this is by no means to discourage, individuality and people being who they genuinely are. But let's just take some from my experience, right? And let's, be logical and rational about it. For example, I had an employee maybe about 5, 6 years ago, really brilliant, young individual. And, we worked in the Department of Defense space, right? So, you're going to be interacting with, commissioned officers, captains, majors, colonels, generals. And, he was a brilliant young man. He still had some of his, there was still some workplace performance issues as well. But, he was the type of person who was a really big individual. He used to come to work with like the Mohawk and, the kind of like, the knives on the belt kind of a thing. And, a bunch of like, really personalized kind of, I don't want to say the word isn't like goth look, but it's just, but you're working for the Department of Defense in front of a, let's say in the military, right? The first haircut you get is a high and tight. So you can imagine how the dress code is a little bit more strict and it's a little bit more conservative. Well, we wanted to put him in charge of an operations center, but he was going to be interacting with generals that, can you see that conflict of interest? Can you put someone in front of someone? Like now, maybe in some situations you can, but could that cause an issue, a presentation wise? Here we have $200 million a year company, and we're going to be having someone interact with a general that's got the power to award tens and tens of millions of dollars. And the person you put in front of someone is showing their personal flair at the business. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that that's going to be a challenge you're going to run into if you push that, too hard. I know that sounds confrontational, but at a minimum, I think you should consider that, and then understand there may be, challenges that you may face because, if you're too explicit with, I'm walking out, imagine me, I don't know if anybody's ever seen the movie House Party back in the day, but imagine me with the big kid and play flat top, and I want to talk to a general. It's just not going to work, right? It's not going to look good. So let's just be honest about it. But all right. So let's go ahead and continue with the article. We'll go ahead and share again. All right. The daily uniform. Since executives bear the responsibility of running an organization, their attire should reflect both power and competence. This is what you want to look like when you come to work. Some ways to achieve this in your wardrobe are: keep it simple and tasteful. I cannot stress this more. That's the way I roll. I keep it simple. I keep it tasteful. You see me with a nice little button-up shirt. You see me with my shirt tucked into my pants. Got my nice little Dockers or my slacks on, or my designer pants on with some nice loafers or some dress shoes and things like that. And that's the way you do it. That's the way I do it personally. Keep it simple and tasteful. Focus on fit over trend and embrace neutral color palettes. Yes, it's fine to add a little pop of color in your tie or handbag, for example, but keep it to a minimum. You want the focus to be on your work, not your wardrobe. You want to make sure that you're looking sharp, but you wear your bright colors, everything is good, but you want your focus to be on what you do at work, not what you're going to be wearing every day to the office. My humble opinion, anyways. Like I said, this is definitely an opinion piece, so take it with what you will. Opt for quality over quantity. You'd be surprised how you can take a few mix and match items of high quality and create multiple office appropriate outfits. I remember when I first let me go take it off share screen just for a quick second. I remember when I first kind of became an executive, the first thing I went out to do, I think I went to Men's Warehouse, and I later started shopping at Joseph A. Banks as well. And I bought myself 4 suits, right? For its jackets, for pants, for shirts, for belts, for shoes, for handkerchiefs. And in those 4 outfits, they were for the most part neutral colors. You can mix and match the shirts, the pants, the jackets, and come up with almost, what's four to almost 15, 16 outfits, right? Something along those lines. And then you've got a couple other items. Then you can buy another shirt that can go with another pair of pants. So, if you buy yourself 2, 3 suits, you can kind of use those to mix and match and start that way. So you don't have to have as long as you buy good quality garments, you can take them to the dry cleaner. They're going to last. So I think that's very, very important. All right, back to the article. All right. Accessorize intentionally. Nothing says executive like a quality timepiece or elegant jewelry. Wherever you go with, bear in mind the idea is to complement your outfit, not overpower it. And I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but myself, I've had like a little tag watch. Citizens watches are nice, but find something, a nice quality brand that's not too expensive, just something just to give you a little bit more of a professional look. Go back to the article. Right. I tend to favor well-tailored suits in gray, navy, black, and beige. I always wear a pressed dress shirt directly from the cleaners and make sure my shoes are polished. And yes, I like a nice watch, and I talked about the tag watch. And there's definitely cleaners around, especially in Pinellas County. Where you can find a good cleaners for maybe $2 to $50 to $3 an item. If you really, really look hard and find like a affordable cleaner, $3 an item, and it saves you that time that you're not having to press. Obviously, iron your clothes, press your shirts. But if you do have the ability to spend a couple extra bucks to have your good garments pressed, they'll last longer. And that just takes one extra thing out of your day that you have to do, and you can focus on your craft. But, and here we go, here goes the good story that I want to tell here. But I wasn't always this way. In 2012, I was the Afghanistan country manager for the Free Internet Cafe program, a Department of Defense sponsored program that provided free internet and phone services to the troops at a military base in Afghanistan. I was in charge of 50 people and routinely met with high-ranking military officials and government civilians. One day, my boss set up a meeting that had the potential to result in millions of dollars being transferred to my program. Now, when you work overseas in a combat zone, you typically dress down in jeans or cargo pants and a simple polo shirt. Not to mention, it's tough to acquire a large wardrobe when your retail access is limited to the local military exchange store. Anyway, on that fateful day of the meeting, I simply pulled the first polo I could find out of my closet and didn't think twice about the professional setting I was entering. And granted, I think this was 2000 and I believe 11 or 12. After getting dressed, I walked outside to meet the government program executive. We're talking about, a GS-15, a guy that's like a really high level guy that controls millions and millions of dollars. He stared directly at my shirt, which had a logo on the right breast pocket for a certain hip hop clothing brand. Oh my goodness. Hold on, let me take this camera off myself real quick. Stop sharing. What was I thinking that day? I have no idea. But what I wasn't thinking, that was the problem. When he noticed, when I noticed him noticing my shirt, I was mortified. This is no diss to hip hop, but there is a time and place to wear that kind of attire, and a meeting with a potential multi-million-dollar customer isn't it. The program exec gave me a look of disgust, as he should have, and he never directly commented on my shirt. This was likely because he didn't want to embarrass me or cross any cultural lines. I'm African American and he is Hispanic. Now, isn't that a shame? He didn't want to say anything to me because I was African American, and he should have. But, I understand the climate that we live in sometimes these days. Like, this is just my humble opinion, but it may prevent people from correcting you on the spot, which he should have corrected me. But the look did enough. So I kind of got the message. The meeting went forward and we nailed it. We ended up securing roughly $10 million in additional funding for our program. But what if that military colonel took one look at me and said, I'm not giving tens of millions of dollars to a country manager who isn't smart enough to dress for this corporate setting, for this corporate meeting? It reminds me of a phrase I heard as a kid. And like I said, I'll go back to what my employee told me a long time ago. If you look good, you'll feel good. And if you feel good, you'll do good. If you look good, don't you just feel different when you walk outside and you're dressed sharply? And then in another way, if you're not, I vowed never to put myself in that position again. I knew at that time in my life that I wanted to be taken serious and promoted to executive role. I had to start dressing the part. As my late great uncle Willie used to say, if you wash your car, it runs better. Go do that. Go try that one. Go, drive your car when it's dirty, and then go wash your car. And for some reason, it just feels like it just runs better. I don't know why that is, but that's an old country saying. People are the same when it comes to their attire. You perform better when you dress the part. All right. And I want to play another video from Strategic Career Building, How to Become a CEO. One of the unspoken truths about being an executive is that dress code matters. Once you make the career change to become a president, your presentation is paramount to your image in the organization. Having said that, I want to make it clear that this is my opinion. There are far more qualified people to talk about this subject matter than myself, but based on my perception and experience, this has proven to be true. Further, how to dress is based on my perception and experience. So feel free to take my advice with reason. At the point in your career where you're an executive, you will have a better sense of your industry and office. In that case, feel free to apply your own experience and use your best judgment. How to dress like a male executive, in my opinion, means keeping it simple. You focus on fit versus trend, basic core colors over flashy colors, and high quality clothing over quick throwaway garments. This look will ensure that you look like a professional, competent leader at all times. Quality over quantity. You'd be surprised how you can take a few mix and match items and create a ton of office appropriate outfits. Remember, an executive is someone who has taken on the responsibility of running the organization. Their attire should symbolize the powerful position they have been granted. In regards to women's wear, and I know I'll get in trouble for suggesting this, so bear with me, you want to give off big time boss lady vibes that scream authoritative. I know how fine a line women have to walk when it comes to presentation and attitude in the workplace. I'm only relaying to you what I observed and what has worked well for women in my field. Your clothes should exude elegance and prestige. I would recommend selecting neutral colored, versatile outfits that you can mix and match. Choose elegant, basic accessories and don't overdo it. Overall, you want a wardrobe that fits well and makes you look and feel like you're always in charge. For men and women, I would recommend that you consider your wardrobe an investment. Like the old saying goes, sometimes you have to spend money to make money. You can do this on nearly any budget as long as you know where to get your items tailored. This is something that I feel people forget about. Fitting the clothes to your body. You won't always have success with off-the-rack clothing, and it will pay off in the long run to make sure your clothes fit as they should. This is critical to your image of success that you want to portray as a business person. Nothing says this better than quality tailored clothing. Another hidden secret is that as an executive, you should aim to dress a level above your staff. In the office, dress code is business casual, then an executive should be slightly above formal. This will set a subconscious boundary with your employee and yourself that states clearly that there is an organizational chain of command or hierarchy in place. Additionally, while you should dress a level above your staff, you should dress at the level of your executive peers. You don't want to come off as trying to outdo your peers, thus sending off the possible message that you're a level above them. As you can see, career success isn't just about doing the work. It's the imagery you portray as well. I'm sure we all know this at some level. We've all had the experience of being treated one way when we're dressed sloppily and another when we're dressed sharply. In this module, you've learned the responsibilities and knowledge needed to run a $100 million organization as the Vice President of Program Management. You've learned the relationship, power structure, and duties that the Board of Managers hold and how they interact at the Vice President level. You've also learned how to strategically gain additional certifications to separate yourself from competition by continuing to add credentials that make you more appealing candidate in your profession. You not only learned how to train mentees to run the organization one day, but also how their fresh ideas can rework how you operate as a VP. Finally, you learn how to dress like an executive and the value and importance that it holds in regards to organizational hierarchy. All right, and we'll continue with your article. And, just to repeat again, your wardrobe is an investment. Think of your wardrobe as an investment. You should take time to select high quality pieces that are versatile in terms of styling and matching. And while the old saying goes, sometimes you have to spend money to make money, can apply, you can actually create an executive level wardrobe on nearly any budget. The trick is doing this on the shoestring is tailoring. This is something I feel people often forget about the importance of having your clothes fit your body. This isn't always possible with ready to wear clothes. So find yourself a good tailor and have your clothes cinched, let out, lengthen, or shorten as your body dimensions require. This is critical to the image of success you want to portray as a business person. Nothing says this better than high quality tailored clothing. Dress at your level, but with an eye towards advancement. Another secret is that as an executive, you should aim to dress at a level above your staff. If the office dress code is business casual, as an executive, you should dress slightly more formal. This establishes a subconscious boundary between your employees and yourself that underscores the organizational chain of command. While you should dress at a level above your staff, you should also dress at the same level as your executive peers. You don't want to come off as trying to outdo your peers and create unnecessary competition or offense. In the end, career success isn't always just about the work you do. It's the image you portray as well. I'm sure we all know this on some level. We've all had the experience of being treated one way when we're dressed sloppily and another when we're dressed sharply. If you want to be an executive, it's important you consider all of these factors and make the best decision regarding attire so that you represent not just who you are today, but where you want to go in the future. Dress for the job that you want. All right. And that was another short but sweet, how to dress like an executive. Like we said before, please subscribe to the channel, like the video. And if you got some comments on how to dress as an executive, if you disagree with my stance or anything like that, go ahead and leave a few comments in the chat. But this is just a general idea to get the conversation started. And I think we can take it from there. I mean, it's just good to get some ideas on the table and let's talk them out. All right. Well, you guys have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video. All right. Signing out here.